Hello, everybody out there, and welcome back here with the future once again to another showcase and review. And this time we have a mint on card showcase and review of these Galoob's NBA All Stars 1997 edition. And you can see here it's the Chicago Bulls that I had. They had several other teams too. And since it's like NBA playoff time, I figured it's no better time than to show these. We were going through my dad's stuff the other day as he's making a move. He has a huge starting lineups collection, and I found these from my childhood that we picked up. Well, actually, I was 15 when he picked these up, but I guess you would still say it's my childhood. I'm going on 36 next month, so yeah, I was quite young when I got these. 21 years it's been. So yeah, I want to check them out here. My brother actually has the Houston Rockets set. I got the Chicago Bulls set. You can see I'm rocking the Chicago Bulls hat as well. Always repping. They are my favorite NBA team. So that's why I did pick these up back then. And plus they were a complete dynasty back then. 6 rings. But what's funny, it was hard to get Jordan to get his likeness for things back then. And he is not featured in this set. Although you would think Michael Jordan would be in this set. One of the greatest of all times. I wish he was, but we get a couple other icons in here that, a lot of people like. So yeah, we're going to check these out. I want to thank everybody who's subscribed lately, dropped any kind of comments, left any kind of feedback, given me any likes. I really appreciate it. And if this is your first time viewing, do all that I just mentioned. And yeah, let's take a look at this vintage 1997 Galoob's All-Star MVPs posable action figures of the Chicago Bulls. They're little mini figures. So yeah, I'm going to turn the camera around now, and we're going to check out this set. So, okay, here we are with the set of Galoob's All-Star MVPs 1997 edition, posable action figures, Chicago Bulls here. Really cool because it has a court in the background with the Bulls at each end of the foul. Or, out of bounds, not the foul lane. Sorry about that. And, yeah, we have the free throw lane there, the three-point line. That's pretty cool, the full court. There in the background of these figures. And of course you have the Chicago Bulls with the Chicago Bulls logo there to the left. And of course you get 5 players, so you can have a little starting lineup here, but they had to substitute somebody for Michael Jordan. That substitution would have had to have been none other than the current coach of the Golden State Warriors himself, number 25, Steve Kerr right there. And you can see these things are so small. I would say they're like an inch, maybe 1.65 inches, like the Nano Metal Figs size, if that. You can see they have these small stands for when they're doing jumps and poses. Like you can see Dennis Rodman here, number 91. He was always one of my favorites. They actually tried, but this was long before they could capture the faces and everything. Scottie Pippen don't look, his likeness ain't too bad there. Scottie Pippen was one of the 50 greatest basketball players of all time, according to the NBA Top 50. I was never a huge Scottie Pippen fan, would have much rather had a Jordan in there, but he was definitely Robin to Jordan's Batman. And when they picked up Dennis Rodman, a.k.a. Rodzilla, it changed the game. He was one hell of a rebounder, defensive player, one hell of a hustler. Never stopped. And then we have Ron Harper here, number 9. Always a solid point guard for him, off guard. And then we had the Croatian sensation here, none other than Toni Kukoc, who came over from Croatia. And, yeah, he ended up having a heck of a career. I don't remember him having the armband on there, but maybe he did. Scotty, I definitely remember him wearing bands on his arm. I used to wear those when I played Singular. Everybody loved Rodman back then because he used to dye his hair every game. Different colors and whatnot, but he did have it blonde, and they made it blonde in this one, so that's probably what drew me towards this back here, was number 91 himself, Dennis Rodman. I loved him back then. Always wanted to rebound like him and everything. Of course, these are made by Galoob, and Galoob is famous for the WCW action figures that they launched in 1990. I need to do an updated review for those too, but I love the basketball in the background there and the logo there. These really popped out on the shelves if you were a sports fan, and there were a lot of sports collectible fans back then because this was when starting lineups were really running hot. And my dad has an epic collection of starting lineups and other sports figs that, man, I'd love to dig through and do a video of. But as far as the front goes, there's Venture. Venture was a store kind of focused on discounted items and stuff like that. But they ceased operations in 1998. I looked up, so this was from Venture. That you actually have the NBA official stamp here on the front. You didn't see anything NBA without that. And if anybody doesn't know, the logo is none other than superstar Jerry West from back in the day. He is the silhouette there on the logo. Little history. Of course, you got Galoobs up there. What I thought was cool here, and you've got the Galoob logo down to the right too, and just like this blue background with dots there. But what I thought was cool is if you turn this to the bottom, you have more here. You have 1996-97 Chicago Bulls Division Central, founded 1966. And then you have these little write-ups here about each player. The Worm is the NBA's finest flamboyant superstar. Or I don't even know if that's what that says. It's hard to read it. Rodman has used his tenacity and strength to become one of the game's top rebounders. So each one has a little write-up. You can pause it if you want and read each one of those. Look what they said. Kerr is a good role player and three-point shooter. Harper, the veteran guard. Pippen's a versatile superstar and an integral part of the 5 Bulls championships in the 90s. They ended up going on to get 6. An awesome defender with surprising shooting range. Pretty interesting that they have each one. They even put the Worm there for Dennis Rodman. Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, the tall Croatian Olympian, is known for his agility and his soft, long-range shooting touch. So, yep, Tony Kukoc. Gotta love him. But, man, I love the figures on the front. And being a minifigure fan, you gotta love that. Being a sports fan, too. And we're right around NBA playoff time, too. You got your NBA logo down there to the right, too. But what I thought was real cool about this was the backing. As you get shots of the other teams that you could get from the line, it looks like there's 6 total sets that they had made. And you had the New York Knicks here with Ewing, Johnson, Dante Jones, Starks, and Charles Oakley. You had the Lakers there with Robert Horry, Eddie Jones, Nick at Night, Nick Van Exel, Byron Scott, and the legend himself, Kobe Bryant. If you haven't checked out my replica championship ring of Kobe Bryant, it was a retirement ring, championship style ring. I'm going to put that up in the right and check that out. It's very cool. Very cool. My dad picked it up for me. This is the Chicago Bulls set that I have here. This is the set my brother has. He's a huge Charles Barkley fan, Sir Charles. The round mound to rebound. But they had Akeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley, Mario Elie, and Kevin Willis. Rockets did win a couple titles there in between the Bulls run, but weren't able to capture one with Sir Charles on the team, or Clyde the Glide from Portland. They were both on there. I think Clyde the Glide was on he might have been on one of the teams. I can't remember now off the top of my head. Seattle Sonics here. One of my favorites back in the day. It's none other than the Rain Man himself, Sean Kemp. You had Gary Payton, Sam Perkins, Detlef Schrempf, and Hersey Hawkins. So, any of you younger kids checking this out probably would not know some of these players. 1997 Galoob there to the right. MVP points down there to the bottom right there by the barcode. Don't know what those were for. You had Galoob Internet even back then in 1997 when you had that dial-up that lasted forever. Sounded like crap. Took an hour for a page to load, at least a half hour. But you had www.galoob.com. Then it says about, color and contents may differ from what's shown. Products are safely tested. Each sold separately. And it says, subject to availability, products shown will become available at different times in 1998. Check stores for new arrivals. So these were 1997, but it looks like they didn't hit stores till 98, according to that. And you had your Galoob logo again. Little right up here, it says, drive to the hoop with Galoob's All-Star MVP's NBA collections. The Did I say Vlade Divac, Muggsy Bogues, Del Curry, Anthony Mason, and Glenn Rice? I don't think I even said the Charlotte Hornets lineup there. Charlotte Hornets actually became the New Orleans Hornets for a while. Then the New Orleans Hornets gave it back the rights to Charlotte. Charlotte was the Bobcats, now ran by MJ, who I think's still the GM. Michael Jordan himself, so that's kind of ironic. And then they got the name Charlotte Hornets back, now New Orleans the Pelicans. Then it says up here to the left, play above the rim with the sizzling superstars of the NBA. Galoob's All-Star MVP's collections let you drive to the hoop or set up for the alley-oop with some of the best basketball players on the planet. Slam home a monster jam to score the deuce, or kick it out to the open man for the game-winning three-point shot. With these superstar players and teams from the NBA, you can set up all-star games or triple overtime thrillers. Start your own quest for the championship ring. So they actually, kind of write it up like you can play an actual game with these guys. It would have been a little tough. I always thought it was tough to play with, like, starting lineups or sports figures because, they're just solidly, a lot of them have a basketball in hand. You can't really shoot with a player. You can imagine it, but, yeah, it was, the fun didn't last too long when you had figures like this. So that's why we probably just kept them guarded back then. We were into keeping things carded by then anyway. And this was really cool to find this, like a little hidden treasure that I forgot I even had. So yeah, there's your look at Galoob's All-Star MVP's 1997 edition, posable action figures, the Chicago Bulls set, collection, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, guys, I want to appreciate everything that everybody's given here on the channel, like likes, comments-wise. I really appreciate it, and I want to say thanks for watching. As always, make sure you do all that I just mentioned. Subscribe, rate, comment, and yeah, guys, until next time, I really appreciate the watch. Hope you enjoyed watching this, and until next time, guys, as always, peace out.